Hey guys, and welcome to yet another video, another crochet video. I wanted to crochet some more on my channel, and I decided to make one of these, I guess you'd call it a marketplace bag kind of things. I've seen a lot of Pinterest, and I wanted to do that, so I did that, and it didn't take me that long. I think if you weren't filming everything and had a day off of school or work, you could probably get it done in one day, maybe even in one whole sitting, if you're speedy at crocheting. I bought 2 colors of yarn, and I decided to have 9 squares, so 3 by 3 squares, and so I could put them up in this kind of alternating pattern between the colors. The entire project is kind of consists of 3 parts, which is the 18 squares, the ribbing, and the 2 handles. And I had 8 of the rose pink color, and 10 squares of the, I guess you kind of call it a cream color, beige color. The ribbing I did directly on the bag. Each handle ended up being approximately 75 centimeters, which is 29.5 inches, and that is 87 half double crochet rows things. The ribbing is just as long as the circumference of the bag, and I did 4 rows high, and that was also half double crocheting, so you could do a different stitch if you want. The granny squares are each 6 layers of granny crochet. I hope that makes sense. So here's the 2 colors that I picked up for this project. I have this beige color and this very light pink rose color. And I kind of cheat started already with the squares. I have 5 of those, and I need 10. And then I have 7 of those pink ones, and I need 8. And I picked up a bit more pink yarn than beige because I'm gonna do ribbing and handles in that color. So I might be able to finish all of my squares today because they don't take that long to make. This is how I'll be aligning my squares in this pattern sort of thing, and then I'll make 2 of those, and I just need 2 more beige squares, and then I'll be done with all my squares so I can start sewing them together. In case you don't know how to make a granny square, I recently put up a video on my channel, a tutorial for that. I'm doing 6 rows for each granny square, and then making 9 per panel, so 18 in total. I also thought you could just make 1 ginormous granny square per panel, and that would make for a lot fewer threads to hide in the end. So welcome to voiceover, Hazel, because that clip was too annoying to listen to. But too many cars going by, I don't know. For the handles, I'm using this rose color that I also did these squares with, so it'll be matching. And I'm chaining 7 before going in to the fifth chain, and making half double crochets. So each row will consist of 5 half double crochet stitches, I guess, and it'll look like this. I'll make it 60 centimeters long, And what I'm doing here is signing over how long that will take. So in the last clip I said that it was gonna take oh so long before I had 60 centimeters, but I just measured this and this is about 60 centimeters and it took me about 15 minutes. So not that long. I might extend it to 75 or 80 centimeters just because I do think this is, if you see, it's a bit short I think. Here is the finished handles and I did end up making them a bit longer. They are each 75 centimeters, which is equivalent to 29.5 inches, which is equivalent to 78 crochet, half double crochet stitches. Alright, as I mentioned, they are 5 stitches wide, and I measured them before I cut the thread, and they were the same length, but then now one is like a centimeter longer, and that's annoying, but I'll have to live with that. Here I have the 2 finished panels, I guess you call them. I tried to put all the threads here on the wrong side, as well as the stitch. You can kind of see it run through the granny squares. I used a slip stitch, by the way, to just join them, all the squares together. I've seen some people have different like methods to joining granny squares so they don't get so like poofy. But this is fine. I kind of like it. So now I just need to make the ribbing and the handles, as well as slip stitching these sides together, and so then I will be done with the back. So here's a quick break from all the crocheting because I want to show you. I found a cat on the street, and that's my favorite thing about summer, because all the cats come outside and then I can meet them and pet them, and I love them. I'm kind of, to admit it, I'm kind of scared of cats. Because I find them not very easy to read compared to, like, I'm used to a dog who is not very playful. Sometimes yes, but he never like scratches like cats. I find cats do sometimes when they get playful, and this cat jump scared me so much. She tried to grab my leg. She was like scratching or hurting me. I just got jump scared. So look at how cute she is. So, and if you listen close, you can hear her purr. For context, here's a picture of my dog. His name is Mikkel, and he's not wearing a filter. This is how he looks in real life. I made the ribbing directly on the back, so I just went into a random loop and started doing half double crochets all around my back. I have 3 rows here of half double crochets, and I want my 4th row to be the last. So I just put my strap down where I think I want it, kind of in the middle here. Yours can of course be wherever you find it comfortable. So for attaching the straps, I'm just going into the back of this stitch and then into the front of the stitch on the back, and then I do a slip stitch through those. So instead of yarning over and pulling through 2 and then yarning over and pulling through 2 loops, you just yarn over and pull through all of your loops at once, which is the same thing I did with attaching, or putting all of the granny squares together. By the way, you want to make sure that your strap isn't twisting around itself. So for the first end, you're attaching, it doesn't really matter, unless you have a right or wrong side, which I didn't. It's just one color and stuff. but when you're attaching the second end, just make sure that the strap isn't twisting. For some reason it looks a little better in the back. I don't know why. Maybe you have a better method for doing this. Now I have both of my handles attached to the ribbing, and so now I'm just sewing in all the loose ends or threads with a normal needle.